This video is not about how to master the skills needed to become a software engineer. It's about how you can learn the bare minimum to get your foot in the door. But to do so, you need to stand out amongst the hundreds of thousands also trying to break into the tech industry every year. And with over 5 years of experience working as a software engineer, I've worked everywhere from small startups all the way to Fortune 500 companies. And today, I'm going to leverage all of my knowledge and experience to provide you with the fastest route to securing a software engineering job. If you follow closely, you'll learn exactly what steps to take to get hired quickly. But before we get into it, I just want to say that my mission is to get 1,000 people into tech. So if you want to join me in this journey, then make sure to subscribe to my channel. With that out of the way, let's move on to step number 1, which is to acquire necessary skills. The bottom line is you need to get credentials that will make employers want to hire you. Most people will go to school and get a degree in computer science, though this isn't always necessary. I'm living proof of that. If you're like me, where you have an unrelated degree, or even no degree, then I believe going the self-taught route is your best bet. I'm a huge fan of self-learning because we live in the age of the internet. Anything you can think of is just a few keystrokes away. I recommend going to sites like Coursera and Udemy for online courses. YouTube is also a really good learning tool. There are so many programming tutorials and projects you can learn from. And the best part? It's free. But before you start learning, it's important to choose a specialty. There are many options out there, but the most popular are front-end, back-end, mobile, and full-stack developers. Choose which one excites you the most and stick with it. After learning basic programming fundamentals from online courses, you'll eventually need to start learning about data structures and Big O notation. You can view data structures as building blocks for writing good software, easily one of the most important subjects you can study. Then Big O is used to determine how efficiently your algorithms run. This is a crucial skill to know, especially for coding interviews, so make sure you take the time to understand this. Again, there are so many courses, both free and paid, that go over these topics. By choosing a specialty and learning data structures in Big O, you're ready to start putting your knowledge to the test. You can do this by solving coding questions on a platform like LeetCode or building projects. For coding questions, try to be consistent and solve at least 2 problems a day. And don't forget to time yourself. Give yourself 30 minutes for easy problems and 45 minutes for medium and hard problems. I found that to be the most effective way to prepare for interviews. Finally, that leaves us with building projects, which ties into the next step, which is building a strong portfolio. Unless you have previous job experience or internships under your belt, then you need a way to show your employers you can code. And building a portfolio is the best way to do that. When it comes to crafting impressive software engineering projects, there's no one-size-fits-all formula, but there are a few principles to keep in mind. First and foremost, aim for projects that follow CRUD principles, which stands for create, read, update, and delete. Most production-level projects involve some form of data manipulation, so showcasing your ability to handle these operations is key. Another thing is that your project needs to be hosted online. Whether you host with services like Hostinger, AWS, the App Store, or platforms like GitHub, the bottom line is that employers need to be able to view your projects online. It's important to note that tutorial projects aren't something you want to put on your resume. The idea is to learn about your desired tech stack from tutorials, then, once you're confident, go out and build your own. If you need ideas, think about problems you have that could be solved with some app or tool. But don't get too hung up on building something unique. As long as you can build something useful, follow CRUD, and be hosted online, then you'll be fine. Build at least 2 high-quality projects to put on your portfolio before you even think of job hunting. But before you can begin job hunting, you need a resume. This brings me to the next step, which is how to craft a resume. Now, don't make the mistake of overthinking resumes. While they are important, I feel that some people put too much of an emphasis on them. A resume just needs to get you an interview or a call back. Nothing more. But when writing your resume, there is a trusted format you can follow that works every time. First things first, your resume has to fit on 1 page. Next, start with the basics: your name, email, and phone number. I'd also consider adding your LinkedIn or GitHub profile links. They're like an extended version of your resume, giving recruiters more insight into your skills. Then we have technical skills. List your programming languages, frameworks, databases, anything that you have experience in. It quickly gives recruiters an idea if your skills align with the job. Next, we have the meat of your resume, which is your experience. Here you want to list any past work or internship experiences. The goal is to have at least 2 or 3 bullet points for each past role, describing technical challenges and your contributions to the project. If you're self-taught, then you list your most impressive projects here. Finally, add your education. Highlight where you studied, your academic achievements, and relevant coursework or projects. Also, only mention your GPA if it's higher than 3.3. Otherwise, don't bother. If you went to a coding bootcamp, then you'd put that here too. Now, education can be placed higher on your resume depending if you are a recent grad or have a CS degree. Otherwise, I found that having it on the bottom didn't affect me negatively. On top of a resume, you should also have a LinkedIn. You can view LinkedIn as an extension of your resume. You always want to make sure this is up to date with all your experiences and any other projects or things you want to link to. If you followed all these steps, then the only thing left to do is apply for jobs. But don't just spam your resume to every job posting you come across. You must take the time to tailor your resume to each job posting. Make sure you identify the top skills that the job posting is looking for and make sure to include them on your resume. Now, it goes without saying, but don't make things up. Only put down things you have experience in. You can also use tools like JobScan to help you refine your resume. Remember, it's all about quality over quantity. I can't emphasize enough how important it is to tailor resumes for the job you're applying to. On top of applying to jobs, one way to supercharge your job hunt is to connect with recruiters. This is simple to do. Just go on LinkedIn, type in technical recruiter, Google Seattle, or you can put whatever company or location you're interested in and start looking for recruiters to reach out to. Send a simple message introducing yourself, your skills, and your background, and asking if you can send over your resume. That's it. Do this multiple times a day, every day, and trust me, you will have many interview opportunities lined up in no time. To take this a step further, you can network with other people on LinkedIn. You can do this by joining groups, participating in discussions, and reaching out to like-minded people. Attending in-person events like meetups and conferences is also a good way to network. If you make the effort to expand your network every day, eventually doors will open and opportunities will present themselves. And finally, the last thing I want to mention is how you can deal with rejection. Because, let's face it, you will get rejected. A lot. But you can't let this deter you. Instead, use it as fuel to keep pushing you forward. Remember, all you need is one yes. So, keep going until you hear that first yes. Always make sure you ask for feedback too. The only way to get better is to be self-aware of your weaknesses and improve them. If you follow these steps and put your best effort into each of them, you will eventually land a software engineering job. But one problem I've noticed, especially with new engineers, is that they spend too much time grinding LeetCode. While practice is important, it's easy to get into the habit of mindlessly solving problems while not retaining any information. If you need a step-by-step plan to break this cycle, then check out this video right now, where I break down effective study tips and various other essential topics. That's going to do it for this video. I hope you learned something new, and I'll see you in the next one.